3 rings for the Elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne. In the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. In today's video, we will be talking about the 3 rings mentioned in the opening line of that quote, the 3 Elven rings. Let's get into it.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
So, as I'm sure most of you already know, the 3 Elven rings were a part of the 20 rings of power that were forged in the Second Age. These rings were intended to be used by Sauron to corrupt the leaders of Middle-earth to his side. 19 of these 20 rings were forged by the elves in Eregion, led by Celebrimbor. 9 of them were crafted for men, 7 for dwarves, and of course, 3 for the elves. Now 16 of these rings, Sauron had a direct hand in their creation. However, the greatest of the rings, the 3 Elven rings, Celebrimbor crafted alone. Then after Sauron made the 1 ring in the fires of Mount Doom, his plan was expected to begin. However, after he put the ruling ring onto his finger, all of the elves instantly became aware of him and removed their rings. Absolutely furious at the unexpected turn of events, Sauron declared war on the elves and demanded that the rings be given back to him. Fortunately, they had already hidden the 3 greatest of the rings, but Sauron managed to recover the other 16. He then gave these to mortals, 7 to dwarves and 9 to men, as he knew they would be easier to bend to his will. As we know, the 9 men eventually became Nazgul and were nothing more than servants to the Dark Lord. The Dwarf Lords did not fall under Sauron's control, but became overwhelmingly obsessed with treasure. We do actually have a full video on the 9 rings, and I'm sure if you guys want to see it, we will cover one on the 7 Dwarven rings as well. Let us know in the comments down below. According to Gandalf, a feature of the Rings of Power that seemed to be shared amongst them all was that a mortal that wore one of them was granted a lifespan far greater than their natural one. It's assumed that this side effect was actually unintentional, as the rings were initially intended to be worn by elves, who were of course already immortal. So the 3 Elven rings were Narya, Nenya, and Vilya. Now while these rings were not created to be weapons of war, or as a means to dominate others, their purpose was to protect the Elven lands where their wielders resided, and to aid in the healing and resisting of evil. Although they were still linked to the 1 ring in some way, and whoever wore the 1 ring could, with great effort, see the thoughts of those who wore the 3. Each of the 3 rings had special properties, but their powers were quite limited. Narya, also known as the Ring of Fire, was a ruby set in a gold band. It was given by Celebrimbor, along with the ring Vilya, to Gil-Galad, High King of the Noldor during the Second Age. Gil-Galad entrusted Narya to his lieutenant Cirdan, Lord of the Havens of Mithlond, who kept it after Gil-Galad's death. After the arrival of the Astari in the Third Age, Cirdan, who knew of Gandalf's true duties, gave the ring Narya to him to aid him in his quests. "Take this ring, master," he said, "for your labours will be heavy, but it will support you in the weariness that you have taken upon yourself. For this is the Ring of Fire, and with it may you rekindle hearts in a world that grows chill." It was only Cirdan, Elrond, and Galadriel that knew Gandalf had the ring throughout the Third Age. Not much is known about when or if Gandalf really used its powers, but we do know that during the siege of Minas Tirith he inspires hope and courage in men wherever he passes. This is a good example of Narya's power. It's said that it had the power to inspire others to resist tyranny, domination, and despair, and to hide the wielder from remote observation except by the wearer of the 1 ring. It's also thought to have magical properties and fire powers. It's assumed that Gandalf kept the ring as a relic when he journeyed to the Undying Lands. Moving on to Nenya, also known as the White Ring or the Ring of Water. It was the Elven ring possessed by Galadriel. It is described as being made of mithril set with a white stone. Nenya's power was said to be preservation, protection, and concealment from evil. Galadriel took advantage of these powers by creating and protecting Lothlorien. It's said that, while protected by Nenya, Lothlorien would not fall unless Sauron had personally come to attack it. It's not really clear to me exactly what this power means, as we know that Lorien had definitely been attacked by orcs before, so it doesn't exactly hide it. I would assume it's more of a case of its presence cannot be detected unless Sauron wears the 1 ring. Anyway, after the defeat of Sauron, the power of Nenya faded, and with it so did the beauty and magic of Lorien. It was gradually depopulated, and by the time that Arwen went there to die in the 4th Age, it was deserted and in ruin. Finally, Villiers, also known as the Ring of Air, the Dominant Ring, or the Ring of Sapphire, was the greatest of the 3 rings. Like the other 2 elven rings, it was jewelled. It contained a great blue stone set in a gold band. After Sauron destroyed Eregion, Villiers, along with Narya, was sent to Gil-Galad far away in Lindon, where it was later given to Elrond by the High Elven King. As Gil-Galad was the High King of the Noldor Elves at the time of the ring's distribution, it was thought that he was the most fit to take care of the most powerful of the 3 rings. So Elrond bore Villiers for the later years of the Second Age, as well as all of the Third. It's not as clear what Villiers can actually do. It's pretty reasonable to assume that it also has the power to heal and preserve, as it's mentioned in the Silmarillion that Celebrimbor actually created the rings for this reason. It has also been speculated that the ring had minor control over some of the elements, like when Elrond summoned water to attack the Nazgul as they attempted to invade Rivendell. It's also possible that it is the ring that gives Elrond the gift of foresight, but it's just as likely that these powers were natural gifts of him alone. After the destruction of the One Ring and Sauron's defeat, the power of Villiers also faded, and it was taken by Elrond, along with Nenya and Narya, with their wielders Galadriel and Gandalf, to the Undying Lands at the end of the Third Age. My question for you guys today is this: which elven ring would you choose to wear if you could pick one? Or would you rather one of the 7 and just become insanely rich and greedy? Let us know what you'd prefer in the comments down below. Okay, that's it from me today, my friends. Time, as always, has come to thank our patrons. Big shout out goes to the members of our highest tiers: Kevin, Abram, Matt, Glorfindel of Gondolin, The Sheath, Denver Steel, Gregory, John, Andrew, and Pirate747. We hope you all managed to tune in to the Q&A and official announcement of our short film. We have truly been blown away by the positive, continued feedback on it, and we just want to get started now, to be honest. If you're interested in supporting the project, it's not too late. You can jump on our Patreon and pick from a variety of tiers. 100% of the support on that goes towards the budget of the film. So this is truly going to be a film funded by the fans, for the fans, and we are so excited to get to work. Thank you all so much for your time watching this video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time on The Broken Sword.